Hello everyone and welcome back to the PlayStation Plus collection, and today we're starting off with First Class Trouble, which doesn't have a score on Metacritic as of yet because it was literally released on the 2nd of November. I, however, feel like it might possibly get one of the best reviews for this type of game around at the minute because it's jumped on the hype of Among Us. It does better than Among Us, I feel, because it's a lot more immersive than just running around as a bunch of colourful characters. But before we jump into the review of the game, I'm going to try something different and tell you that there is 6 DLC packs for this, all of which are just cosmetic, ranging from £2 to £12. Doesn't really seem worth it, but if you get invested in the game, it might be worth just dropping a couple of quid on it just to dress up fancy for Christmas or for winter, whatever you feel like. Main menu is easy to navigate, which is always handy. It's done with the L2 and R2. And most of all, the main issue I had there was that the icons and the lock icons on it are just too small to really pay attention to see. I figured that I was dressing my character, other than trying to make him look like Agent 47, which succeeded quite well. I was putting things on him that just weren't attaching, and I wasn't really paying attention and couldn't tell until obviously I went back and he was just dressed like this dude. But other than that, it's actually a really fun game to play. As you can imagine, playing as either side, right here I'm a personoid, and as playing as a resident they're called, it's going to take a few games to get used to it, and this is literally my second game that you can see in the background, so I'm just giving this guy a hug and giving him a shove, and it doesn't really click until I go into my menu, which I keep getting them mixed up, L1 and R1. L1 is for emotes, R1 is for your inventory. And it's just pot luck whether you get to be the killer or not, so I would definitely say it's probably more fun to play this one in a group. To be honest with you, it's probably a lot safer as well. This is not one that I would let your kids play, just purely because my first match there was 3 people who were clearly in a party. They were obviously going to be cheating if one was being killed by someone else. They would let them know who the personoid is, but he was just constantly swearing, throwing around racial slurs, and he was just essentially making the game on its launch seem not worth picking up again. So I would definitely monitor if you're letting your kids play this one. Not for the violence, because it's a video game, and video games don't cause violence, as we all know. It's just one of those things that's a taboo. But nobody wants to be bullied online. He even told the other players to go kill themselves. I did report him, because that is not making a fun and safe environment which we as gamers all want to experience and play in, and pass on to the next generation, to our children, to everybody else. That being said, that's probably the worst aspect of this game. And as you can see here, this is the voting system. Everybody's done anonymously, if you want that, but the voting icons at the bottom there correspond to the colour of your character at the top. And this does get a lot more fun after you play a few more games of it. Like I said, the more you play, the better you get. But on top of that, the more you play, the higher level you get, the more clothes you unlock. So it's not just essentially getting better to get to know the game. There's a really, really big selection of clothes for you to unlock. And not only through the DLC, you unlock the clothes just general playthrough. Now the dangers to the players in this game isn't just the other players, because even if you're not the killer, you can grab somebody and you can have another player choke them out. But as you just saw there, the humans are excessively flammable. I don't understand why they're so flammable, but basically as soon as you touch fire, you're dead unless somebody's going to put you out with a fire extinguisher. Because if you try and jump in water, like a swimming pool or whatever, even if you aren't the robot, you just straight up drown, which makes me wonder, why have they got these swimming pools on this spaceship if they're not designed to be used? And ordinarily I would go in depth on the trophy system, but I'm going to save that for the month in review because I am absolutely going to continue playing this one. Not to the point of platinum, but definitely to the point of collecting a few more trophies. And the one that I did get was Welcome Aboard, which is just, everybody will get that. It's just complete your first match. And I would absolutely say this is definitely worth playing. I'm going to rate this one a 3 out of 5 just because it's very entertaining. It'd be more fun with maybe, like I said, party play, but not just for the kids, for everybody who plays it. But I would very much advise using the in-game chat as opposed to using a party chat just to help stem cheating. Everybody would do it. We all know we would. But this way, at least the people who are dead are out and they can't say who's done it. So this is on my absolute continue to play list, and I'm going to enjoy playing this one over the course of the month. Next up, we have got a very, very good game, which I was surprised at, to be honest, because I got it mixed up with the beta that I thought I'd played. This was originally released on May the 21st, 2021 with an 80% score on Metacritic, and I honestly couldn't even tell you the name of the game that I got this mixed up with, but that's neither here nor there. One thing I've got to say, as soon as I jumped into this game, I managed to level up to level 2, which was just weird. Why would you just, why would you level me up just for logging into the game? That aside, one thing I really did like was the home hub menu, where basically it just throws you into letting you run around, throw the balls around and get a feel for the game. I do highly suggest playing against the AI, which I inadvertently did maybe 5 times without realising that I'd actually selected that instead of going PvE, which essentially gave me my first win against everybody else when I was playing, as you'll see in the video. I getting frustrated. I was wondering, why is this happening? Why am I not playing against other players? Is something wrong? I was getting annoyed, frustrated, but then I realised it was human error, so I can't dock any points for this. Again, this has 5 add-ons, and 4, with typical EA fashion, are only in-game currency, and the other one is an upgrade to premium. Prices range from £4 to £20, and I just don't see the point in it. You're going to be able to get everything you need to get by just playing the game and enjoying yourself. And I really think you will enjoy yourself. This is, as I said, my first PvE game, and it's 1v8 as a battle royale. As you can see, the grid closes in on you, and it's just really fun to play. You get different mechanics that you can do, one of which is catching the ball, which is tricky, but it's really going to cinch a game for you if you can get it down pat and master it. You get the front flip, which causes a lob effect for the ball, and you get to pirouette and spin, which causes it to spin around so you can throw it around objects. And it's just probably some of the best, simplest features that you could think of, and it just makes the game that much more enjoyable. And there are lots of different types of balls as well. So far the ones I've used is the moon ball, which generates moon physics when you're hit by it, and even if you're still holding it and you get knocked, you just take forever to land as you're just floating away. Sniper ball, which is the ball you can see in here, is more shaped like a NFL football or a rugby ball. That is essentially just a hyper fast ball, and I'm pretty sure you can throw it maybe even over farther distances. Get a bomb ball, which, let's face it, that's pretty self-explanatory, and a cola ball, which just covers the screen in cola, making it hard to see, and it just distorts your view. But you don't need a distorted view to go into your character creation, which they are all pre-rendered characters, and I think you get a fair few selections, but you can only really modify them in customization, clothes and hair, which is slightly disappointing, but it is what it is. You can obviously change the hairstyle, change their face, their outfit, their glasses, but that being said, each outfit consists of 4 unlockables. So altogether there's around about 20 outfits for you to choose from. 4 of them each have 4 unlockables, of which you can then hack a different variation of the clothes. Sounds very convoluted the way I've said it, but it's pretty much straightforward. It's just a cheap and easy way of creating new skins, and they all cost the same to unlock. So it's basically just coming across the one that you prefer the most, hence my sort of Hawaiian sprinkles look. Now, aside from looking like Elton John with my star glasses and bald head, I've got to say I didn't unlock any of the trophies for this game, which is surprising considering this is the first PvE game I played and I won it. But I did get a pretty cool uncommon glider. Seems as though they've taken some aspects of other games, such as Fortnite with the glider, and it's not that great, it's not very maneuverable, but there are sort of quirks to every level, one of which, when you're on the rooftops, it does cause you to glide faster, and it could possibly save you if you're running away from lots of sniper balls. Now, the rating for this one, I'm going to give quite a solid 4 out of 5. It was extremely enjoyable for the small time that I played it. Even when I was playing against the computer, I enjoyed it. But coming up next, the third game in the review, is my absolutely favourite of the month. Kingdoms of Amalur, The Re-Reckoning. Quite possibly one of my favourite fantasy adventure games ever out there, ever made. Possibly second or third to The Legend of Zelda, but let's just keep that between us. Now, this game was originally released in 2013 for PlayStation Plus, but it got a 72% Metacritic score for September 8, 2000. So, it just goes to show that this was long overdue a remaking, which it does exceptionally well. You start off after being thrown down into the Well of Souls, and you awaken to a character creation screen. There's 4 races to choose from: Almain, Varani, Leosulfar and Dockelfar. So essentially it's 2 human types and 2 elf types. Not the greatest creator, but my guy managed to look like Kratos with a little bit of tweaking here and there, so I'm quite happy with the way that he looks. As is typical with this sort of game though, it doesn't really matter what you look like, because you're going to come across hordes and hordes of different armor types, weapon types, and you can use them all basically. You can use daggers, swords and shield and staff, and there's constant upgrades, which is one of the main issues with this game. The constant in and out of the start menu to constantly equip your new equipment, which, as annoying as it is essential, because as I just said, as I remember from playing it before, there is no end to the upgrades and new cooler looking armor that you're going to pick up here. And as you are very well aware, I like to talk about how easy it is to navigate the main menu. Of this, it's the most simple, straightforward main menu you could imagine. The pause menu, however, is consisted of maybe 12 different options. I'm not entirely sure, I didn't count them. There's no issues at all with navigating it, but there is issues I have with the game. One of which is easily rectifiable. They have button mapped sprint to hold down X, which is just cumbersome and uncomfortable, so you should straight away map that to L3, and it just makes the whole gaming experience better. Some of the other issues I've had are there is no lock-on that I can see to enemies. Unless I've just missed it, there's no ability to lock on, and the screen turn has a slight delay to it, and it just feels a bit loose and a bit rickety. And as you can hear that's the gamer baby joining in the conversation. That being said, the camera also when you first start playing is extremely close and not very high. That is one of the best things about this menu. You can change how close the camera is by a good margin, and how high up it goes. I've not checked the entirety of it, but it seems like it may even possibly give you the opportunity to play it as a top-down adventure game, which, if you're into World of Warcraft, that could possibly make this better for you. I do feel if you do that, however, you're going to miss out quite a lot on a lot of the world, because as I remember playing first time, and I'm going to say this a few times through the review, it was a fantastic looking world, beautiful, and you don't really want to miss anything. One last camera complaint I have is that you can't switch to first person view while aiming with the bow and arrow, as you saw earlier on in the background there. It took a few attempts to hit those enemies that were far away, and they shot at me no problem, which it was supposed to happen before they even noticed you. So, small nitpicks like that aren't really going to affect the score of this game, because, as I've said, I adore this game. This is possibly one of the best adventure games that they could have possibly given for free, and I am claiming right here, right now, I am going to platinum this game. So, you know for a fact over the course of the month I will be playing this, unlike the previous month. Although, speaking of the trophies, I didn't actually ping any achievements while playing through this first hour of the game, especially considering as it throws a boss at you at the very end of the tutorial. That of which I'm not entirely upset by, just purely because it kind of sets the tone for the game up that it's not going to be an easy breeze to walk through. As I said in the earlier review, I'm going to go through at the end of the month how difficult platinum should be to obtain. Talking of the other games, there's 2 massive differences here. One is obviously the fact that it's an adventure fantasy game, and 2 is that it's the only single player game that we've received this month, which a lot of people are going to be happy with because you don't want to have to rely on others to enjoy a game. Would this be a good multiplayer game? Perhaps, but I do also get vibes of God of War and also Dragon Age from this game, so that's two massive influences. So it can't surely be going bad. And if, like me, you absolutely adore those games, you will love this game, which I'm giving a very easy 4.5 out of 5. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, sharing, commenting, and liking. Now I'm going to be back, hopefully, on the 11th, if rumours are true, with an Xbox video. So I'll see you then. Thank you for watching and have a good day.